Howdy, this is Mackenzie Franklin from SideGame LLC here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Today we're going to be taking a look at Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition, designed by Nikki Valens and published by Fantasy Flight Games. This is a fully expanded copy of the game that's stored in 2 boxes. It's stored in the base game box as well as one of the large expansion boxes here. We also use a binder to help organize the game as well as to make sure that gameplay is a breeze while we're playing it. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look inside. Now we'll start off with the core box here, and this core box is going to contain the majority of our tiles and our gameplay components. So first off, you're going to see that we have all of the different rule books draped on top here. And then we have all of these large tiles right underneath those rule books from all the different expansions. Next, you'll see that we have a couple of these different organizers, and really you can use plastic bags for some of the large ones, but it's really nice to have something like this. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. They're the art box organizers for $1, and they're going to contain lots of varied tokens. So you have the bindings tokens, you've got all of your different improvements, some key tokens, and then you have the doors that are specifically for like the adventure campaigns that take place in the rainforest. So all of these tokens are here. They're available based on what expansion content you are using. It's nice to have those easy access. Up next, you'll have your water tokens here. These are going to be for the Horrific Journeys expansion. They're going to be your void and water tiles. You'll need them in case you're playing with those scenarios, so nice to have those in a little container. And then you'll have one large bag here that you are going to have all of your dice as well as all of your characters. You're going to need to dump this out to check which character is which, so might as well toss the dice in here. These miniatures are very durable. You simply dump it out on the table, gather the dice, or separate the dice to the players, and then they pick and choose the different miniatures they would like to be. So that's all in that bag. Up next, we have the cards you're going to use every game, and you'll need at the start of every game. So like the brain damage cards, the damage cards, and then the insanity cards. All of these will be in this box, and you simply put them out, shuffle them up, and put them on the table. So you're simply going to take these out, put them on the table, because you will need to shuffle them as you will use them every game. Up next, we have some more containers. These are going to contain your clue tokens. You simply pop the top off, leave it on the table. Same thing with your additional tokens here. These are for your barricades, your doors, your trap doors, various tokens you may need based on the mission. Some more ferns and plants. A lot of these you can put to the side if you're not using that specific mission. And then you also have your character cards. So I'll leave a link in the description below for all the different sleeves that we use for these, but these are going to hold all your character cards. There's nice room right in here between these large square tiles that they'll kind of hold up these tiles as well as fit nicely themselves. I also have a silicone gel packet in here for freshness. And then we got 3 more of these large container boxes, and these are going to hold our different exploration tokens. So we've got our exploration tokens and our site tokens, and we've got coin capsules for those. We've got our find and event tokens. And then lastly, we have our darkness and fire tokens all in this container. Now, once again, you're not going to need to put all these out on the board. The biggest ones that you'll need at the start of the game are these 3, as the majority of the rest will come out as the game progresses. Now that brings us to the tiles, and you'll notice that we have these little note cards sticking out. So each of these note cards is very basic. We've cut them down so that they fit nicely into here and don't get crushed too bad. These are going to show what set they're from and what icon specifically. So this is the key icon, so we put the little symbol there, and then all of these tiles will all follow in that key line. So all of the tiles fit nicely on this left side with this little one here, and then all of the stuff on this right side here looks super good. So all these are really nice for organizing the pieces, and then underneath that you've got the large 2x2 tiles, and these are also organized based on their specific type. And that is everything in this core box. Let's go ahead and pack it up. So all the tiles you can really just leave in the box, as you'll kind of use it like a filing system and find the thing you need, but you're going to slide those cards in there. We're going to slide in our 3 tokens on this side here. You're going to put 2 more on top like so. And then you're going to put the extra container here. You're going to put these on their sides like so. You'll put that extra container on its side like that. You've got that extra tokens here, our art box there, our extra cards just kind of tucked away there. All of our characters, our silica gel packet here. And then we'll drape those large tiles on top and then place that rule book like so. And that's everything in that core box, and that is with no lid lift here. And everything fits extremely nicely in that large box. So that's everything in the core box. let's go ahead and take a look at the miniatures box. So you'll notice that there were no miniatures in that core box outside of the investigators. All of the miniatures are here. Now, you do not need to actually use these miniatures to play. I do really like the artwork on the tiles, but this is really straightforward. This is actually a lid lift, slight lid lift here, because it's just filled to the brim with miniatures. And you can see, you can use as you see fit, how, you can use this as you see fit. You could just toss them in. You could display them if you wanted to. These are not my favorite miniatures at all. We have super glued them onto their tile bases here, and that way they do stay, and that way we don't have an issue. We never have to look for the base that matches the specific miniature if we decide to use them. But they do look good, they work, you can slide the tiles in there, but they serve their purpose if you'd like to have those miniatures for that purpose. So you can find and sift through them here, but ultimately it's going to be up to you if you even want to use those miniatures. So that's everything in the Horrific Journeys expansion box for us, but it'll fit in any of these large box expansions. So it's everything in that miniatures box. And then lastly, probably the most important tool and the thing that I find helps out the most with just the game as a whole is a binder. So we use a classic 3-ring binder here. We put in that cover in there just to keep it nice, but this is going to contain all of the cards that you'll need to find as you play. A lot of the time, the app is going to ask you for specific cards, items, etc. If you have an organized book that has all of these things laid out, this is going to make the gameplay go by way more smoothly, and it's going to make it a breeze. So inside of here, you're going to have everything organized by types. First off, the conditions, because these are probably the most likely things that are going to happen based on the different enemies. So you've got all those conditions first. And then you're going to have all of the items. So these items here, once again, alphabetical order, and they're going to be easy to just say, oh, you found this thing, boom, it's right here, let me pull it out for you, there's the item. So really nice there. Up next, you have the unique items, and once again, the story is going to tell you to find these in alphabetical order once again, and you're welcome to group like cards here. You then have your spells, because you may find those as you play. And then even one step further, you actually have the tokens. One of the most annoying things that can happen is you're looking for a specific token and you're just digging through piles. If you actually put these tokens into these binders, it is super nice because you simply flip the pages. They have one artwork on one side and one on the other. Same thing with the specific artwork investigators. You're gonna have all of their names on one side and then all the pictures on the other. So I really like the way that this works. I think it's extremely helpful for the system, and I think that this is just, it's the way to do it. The last bit that you'll see are all of these different monsters, and the different monsters all pertain to the miniatures. They have all the stats and information here though, so you don't actually need to use those miniatures. If you like the artwork that are on these, you can just put these on the table, and they really do make for a smoother game experience. So that would be my recommendation, is just really don't even use the miniatures. These are great. I love the artwork here. It looks fantastic. So all of your different creatures are in here with their specific so all of your different monsters are here based off of alphabetical order once again. And then lastly, you'll have two separate cards. These are for two specific missions. We have the Elixir as well as the Trader card if you're deciding to play that scenario. So these are just in the back just in case. And then lastly, you'll have some of these binder pages for some of the smaller expansions. You're going to have all of them in here. That way they're easy to reference if you do have a specific rule that might come up. So all of them should be in here, super nice. And that way you can really quickly just understand what's going on. And that's everything in the binder. And that is Organizing Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. If you have any questions about what you saw here, please let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of this game? Do you like the app integration? How smooth is this for you? What's your preferred player count? I'd love to know if you like to use the miniatures or not. Please let me know down in the comments below. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope some of you found this helpful. SideGame Strong.